T-Dog, J-Boy, and me, I'm Lugs. Our pride and joy is pumping our mugs. Be careful, kids, it could get rough. We're flipping our lids on sports and other stuff. Welcome to Sport Weasel Central. I'm Lux.
I'm J-Boy.
And I'm T-Dog.
That's right. This is sports and other stuff. A day without us is, well, like a day without sunshine. I don't know. Don't adjust your set. That was a teal-colored football field at Coastal Carolina. Yes, teal. NFL Week 13. Did the Jets take a dive and let the Raiders win? Russell Wilson was sacked 6 times this weekend, and the Giants, who did that, took first place. And, oh, yes, the Indiana Hoosiers spanked Bucky the Badger. How about that? So, yes, let's talk about that. Indiana beats Wisconsin for the first time in 3,000 years and celebrates. So let's go to our correspondent, the professor of pigskin, a dyed-in-the-wool Hoosier himself, T-Dog. Tell us about the Hoosiers.
It was a good win for IU. They played against a good defense in Wisconsin. I know their offense is up and down. IU got 2 takeaways, which is the theme of the whole year for them. And the first one set up the first touchdown pass by Jack Tuttle, which was a great throw to Hendershot in the corner of the end zone. It was also a nice design play because I think there was a jet sweep in front of him, and there was a play action to the running back. So there was a double fake, and then it allowed Hendershot to sneak behind the back of the defenders. And then for their second touchdown the start of the second half, he hit a nice 35-yard pass to Freifogel in between 2 defenders. I thought for being the backup, Jack Tuttle played very well. His first one of the 2 turnovers IU's football team was able to create on a essentially strip sack on Mertz. He took it and they got in the red zone, and then there was a jet sweep with a fake to the back, and then he threw over the top to Hendershot for a nice touchdown. And then to start the second half, he had a huge throw to Freifogel, 35 yards, essentially I think down the seam, maybe a little outside the hashes, that set up Watt Filliard, which also, if you kind of watch it, Watt Filliard, where he threw it, he was in between the hashes, and Watt Filliard was wide, close to the edge. So that just shows you how strong his arm is. So obviously the overall offensive numbers aren't overwhelming, but they played solid, efficient football, and that's what allowed them to win at in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, I am impressed with our boy Captain Tuttle.
Yep.
He comes in, really shows maturity. Obviously, isn't the flashy streak that Penix is, but still impressive to come in and take on. I don't even remember what Wisconsin was rated at that point, but
I believe they were 16th. It was number 12 versus 16.
They haven't played nearly as many games as everybody else, but 3.
No, they played 3 going into that game.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, congratulations to the Indiana team. I mean, this is one of those seasons that I don't know if they've ever had a season that's gone this well.
The last time, I believe, I'm just going off the top of my head, I think the last time they went 6-1 was 1993. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while.
And the last Big Ten championship was 1967.
Yeah.
Wow.
When my dad was in school. So
we were just young lads.
Yeah. So
That's right.
Okay. That was cool. Okay, what about the Chanticleers and BYU? Wow. That was kind of cool. A pandemic game that came together because nobody could play anybody else. Loved it.
Yeah. Impressive offensively. But those guys do not have a shot to get in the Indy playoffs.
Come on. Let them
There's
in.
no way.
Let them in. Coastal Teal Turf Carolina. Come on.
if anybody should have been in the playoffs, it would have been Central Florida a couple of years ago when Auburn robbed them of a national championship, essentially.
That's right. I remember that.
So, but yeah, your directional schools, your whatever the Chanticleers are, I mean, they're part of the UNC grouping, but hey,
I don't know. I'd throw them in there. Let's go. Cincinnati's on the bubble. Chanticleers are on the bubble. Let's give them a shot on the outside. Come on. Come on. This be the year.
I just like that they both teams knowing that they needed to help their resume, and that's the thing is obviously it stinks for BYU that they lost, but if they were going to have a shot, which I kind of agree with Lugs, they probably realistically did, but if they were going to have a shot, they needed to bolster the resume. So the Liberty game fell through, and BYU, like they truly actually lived up to the mantra, any place, anytime, where Coastal Carolina is like, we'll play you. So they went to Coastal Carolina on a very short period. And also even more props to BYU because Coastal Carolina's offense, I mean, essentially run-heavy, triple option kind of offense. It's not the easiest offense for your defense to get ready for on short notice. And it was apparent Coastal Carolina ran for 281 yards, 3 TDs, and they held the ball for essentially 38 minutes of the game. That being said, even though I hate to say he probably lost his shot at winning the Heisman, I thought Zach Wilson played well. Some of the throws you see why he's probably going to be drafted high. I don't know how high in the NFL draft, but that one throw on the last drive, the 33-yard throw to Gunnar Romney, I mean, that was just a stripe. And his one touchdown pass, even though most of it was Dax Millen running after the catch, if you watch where he threw it, he was on the far hash mark. And essentially, Millen was on the sideline on the other side. So that's just all arm. Like, just how impressive. He had so much time to run after the catch because the ball got there so quickly. So, I just want to give props to Marbley, their running back for the Santa Clara's. He had 132 yards, two rushing touchdowns. And it was a fun game. And, think about it. The ending was reminiscent of the Rams versus Titans game. Like, it was a great ending, too. So
that was the Bears calling. They want to get that quarterback.
Yeah.
Hey, Lugs, I got a question for you. If Boise State has that blue Smurf turf, right?
Right.
What do you call that green, seafoam green turf that the Chanticleers have? What do you call that?
That you call that being on sale. They bought several
remnant
100 yards and just pieced it together. I don't know.
A remnant, man. It's a remnant. It's Carpetland calling on line 3. Big up Carpetland line 3. Carpetland line 3. Okay.
But while we're talking college football,
go ahead.
Satterfield is having to do a lot of backtracking after this weekend.
Yeah.
He should have been up front saying he was meeting with South Carolina. He wasn't. So it was another like Bobby Petrino 3.0 this time. No, I'm not interested. And then he's meeting with him in Bowling Green of all places. Like, dude, this is the age of social media. You're going to get killed if you're not up front with people. So, and apparently he wasn't up front with Vince Tyree. So that's got to be a strain. So going forward, I wish him a lot of luck. If they don't win that Wake Forest game, U of L fans are just going to fry him.
Why would you want to go to South Carolina from Louisville? You got a better shot, don't you? Win the U of L?
Got family there. Apparently his parents.
True,
he's from South Carolina.
All right, well.
And that's what he's saying. He that was his only consideration.
He likes home cooking?
Yeah, okay. And I can understand that. Plus, let's be honest. More money, but the SEC is more prestigious than the ACC. I mean, the ACC has been dominated, for 6 years by Clemson and will be because everybody else is kind of, they're just not on the same par.
Satterfield.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to say they're going to be on par with Clemson, but still, I don't think there's that many. I think you stay in the ACC because you don't have as many big monsters to take care of. I mean, obviously, to be fair to your point, Clemson's probably going to stay dominant in the ACC. And I think, obviously North Carolina's having a good year, and North Carolina, I think, will continue to build on it because Mac has done a good job of recruiting, and they'll get better. Obviously, Notre Dame's not going to go away.
Yep.
I can't ever get a feel for Miami. I think Miami's kind of on the way back, and then it feels like they're a fraud. So I don't know. But you look at the SEC, particularly in the East. I know Kentucky had a down year. I think they'll bounce back once they get a better quarterback. I think that's mainly their problem. And obviously Florida has turned it around. Florida will represent. Georgia's not going anywhere. I don't know. I think there's more competition. I get the prestige thing, and obviously I get definitely the closer to home thing is important, but it just seems like I understand that U of L is not a destination, but if you're going to leave U of L, leave it for like Charlie Strong did, leave it for Texas, even Petrino. I get Arkansas because obviously I feel Arkansas has big backers, but to leave for South Carolina, I don't know.
So wait a minute. Jeff Brom may indeed eventually be available. This could work out.
Yeah, but remember how nasty U of L fans were when he turned it down. I mean, he was all but anointed, and then he turned it down to go to Purdue.
Yeah, but I think he's going to be leaving Purdue. See, that's my point. Okay, what else about that? Any other college business?
I think we need to get on into NFL.
Yes, please.
For the first time since 1951, a Cleveland quarterback has 4 touchdown passes in a half.
How about that?
Otto Graham was your last guy. So Baker Mayfield, for one half, proved he was worth $1.50. All right,
good.
And they whacked up on Tennessee pretty good. Tennessee couldn't come back.
Yep.
So
good.
Yeah, so for everyone who was hating, and to be fair, I guess none of us are the biggest fans of Baker Mayfield, but congratulations, Baker Mayfield. At least today, we eat crow. You played well. I think it kind of shows you, as good as the record is, Tennessee Titans defense has been really suspect all year.
Yep.
And I think Cleveland just really put a spotlight on that. But still, it shows you great hire of Kevin Stefanski. Their chances, I think, of making the playoffs, I saw yesterday, is in the 90 percentile.
Yeah.
So they're pretty much locked in. And, they've done a great job just leaning on the run game. And even to be fair to Baker Mayfield, it would be hard. You think about it, they had that month, particularly in October, the weather was so atrocious in Cleveland. They couldn't throw. There's no reason to throw. Just pound it. The winds were too high, and they couldn't do anything. But I think it's a good hire. Maybe they can reclimate Baker Mayfield, what he kind of showed as a rookie, and going forward. The one hire that was awful, though, and obviously is coming to an end this year, is Adam Gase.
Yes, sir.
The end
How
of
about that game? How about that?
I mean, they ended up firing Greg Williams today, and they needed to, because everyone who always complains about the prevent defense, we now have an example of why the prevent defense exists. You are up by 4 points?
Yes.
All you have to do is protect the boundaries and protect the end zone. They do a 7-man blitz, and they leave Henry Ruggs, who ran like a 4-3 one-on-one. And Derek Carr has a strong arm. Derek Carr hits Henry Ruggs. They ended up winning. Greg Williams loses his job, and Adam Gase will shortly lose his.
I think Ruggs was waving his arms and saying, I'm open. I think. I'm not sure. Did you guys hear that? Yeah, what do you think of that one?
Well,
wow.
The thing is I think that they just went ahead and lost that one on purpose.
I wonder.
Because the play before, the Jets had tried to leave Aguilar, I think, was open.
Nelson Aguilar.
Aguilar. The play before left him wide open. Well, not wide open, but open in the end zone, and couldn't make the connection. So it was like, okay, how do we help him this time? Yeah, we put all of our